Welcome to another episode of the Financial Medicine Show. In this episode, Elisa is going to be talking to us about her part-time jobs in college. She's going to be talking to us about other investment vehicles and what she does with her money while she's working her job. Elisa, in the first episode, you were telling us that when you were a full-time college student, you were working part-time jobs. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure. So throughout my undergraduate, I worked a lot of different part-time jobs. This included working at a juice shop, making smoothies, a restaurant, retail, rolled ice creams, as well as internships to get more experience in the career field.
So it sounds like you have a lot of obligations. You're going to school, you have to study for tests, you have to do your assignments, and you're trying to balance work among all these things that you're doing. How do you keep yourself on track?
Sure. I don't think that only students have multiple obligations if you have a part-time job. This can include a lot of different people. For example, if you're a full-time person with family obligations like children, kids, activities like that, you need to know where you should be at certain time periods. So for me personally, I really like Google Calendar. I think it's a great way to track. There's a lot of features I like. For example, one feature is recurring events. If you have classes Tuesdays and Wednesdays, you can set that up just one time, and in your calendar, it'll already repeat those events. Secondly, a really great feature about Google Calendar is that you can set goals. This can include things, for example, for me personally, I did one goal was to work out twice a week. And Google Calendar will actually put in a little 1 hour time block for you to work out. And you can actually switch that up, and the Google Calendar will slowly learn what times you like to work out.
How many hours did you work per week?
Sure, so I work anywhere from 8 to 32 hours a week, depending on whether it's just one part-time job or multiple part-time jobs or one full-time internship. And I think this is really helpful for a lot of students just to have some sort of spending income. For example, when you're driving to classes, you need gas money or maybe some food, groceries. And for me also, it was a great way to start investing early.
So you went to work, you got paid. What did you do with your money? How much went into savings? How much went into your student loans? How much went into your investments? Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Sure, so let's start off with student loans. For me, student loans, I have kind of an interesting situation. I actually put $0 into my student loans. And I know a lot of people might question that, like why? But for me personally, I have subsidized student loans. This means that while I'm attending classes and going enrolled in school, I actually incur zero interest on my loans. As we know, the interest will occur until 6 months after I graduate. This is the grace period. And for me, it makes sense to not put any money into my loans that are growing interest free. They're just stabilized. Instead, I'll take that money that I would have put into my paying off my student loans and invest this money instead. This will make my money grow even further.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I mean, if your student loans are 0% interest and you are working from your job, there's no reason to pay off the student loans quickly because it's not accruing any interest. And so rather take that money and putting it somewhere else that may grow your money. What about savings? Did you have any savings? How much money did you save with each paycheck, or did you have a goal in mind?
Sure, so for me, I don't have any set percentage. I know a lot of people like to do 15% savings, 10% savings. Instead, I have my set amount of emergency fund. My current emergency fund amount is $10,000, and the rest after I finish that is used for spending or more investments.
Did you reach your goal yet? Did you reach $10,000?
Yes, I did reach my goal of $10,000.
So now that you reached your goal, did you put any more money in the bank, or did you divert the money somewhere else?
Sure, most of my money right now are actually diverted to investments. So I try to max out my Roth IRA every year, as well as put some money into my 401k. For the Roth, the maximum contribution limit is $6,000 per year.
So you're throwing around words that we may not know about. You mentioned 401k, you mentioned Roth. Let's start off with 401k. What exactly is a 401k?
Sure, so a 401k account is an employer-sponsored plan that takes pre-tax money out of your paycheck and use it for retirement purposes. This is money that you have not had any taxes taken out of yet. And for me, my employer has a 401k plan that matches 50% of my contributions. So what does this exactly mean? It means if I put in $100, then my employer will match and put in $50. and giving me an end sum of $150. And this is completely free money. So the maximum contribution limit for the 401k is $19,500. And for me, since my salary is a little bit lower, I'm on an hourly scale, I prioritize the Roth IRA.
What is a Roth? Actually, let's go back a little bit. You're saying that if you put in $100 and your employer matched a little bit, instead of your $100 growing with investments, it's actually $150. They're giving you some free money.
Yeah, exactly. So I only put in $100, but my investment will be growing with $150 because of the match.
And then you said that you prioritized the Roth because your salary was a little bit lower when you were working part-time in college. What exactly is a Roth?
Sure, so let's go into that. A Roth IRA is an individual retirement account. This is an account that you can open up on your own as long as you have income. So you don't need to be attached to employer or have to have an employer sponsor your account. You can go ahead and open it right now. Anyone can open it. And for the Roth, this is after tax money. So money that has already been taxed and is deposited into your account. For example, you get a paycheck, that net amount is what is being invested. And since it is already taxed, it won't be taxed again. As you invest it into index funds and mutual funds, this will go tax-free. So when you reach the withdrawal age at 59 and a half, the money will be yours tax-free, just like it is coming out of a bank account. It grows tax-free. And some key differences for the Roth versus the 401k. The Roth, you get more options to invest in. You can invest in even individual corporations, more different varieties of mutual funds, and it's overall just more flexible. For the 401k, since you're attached to an employer, they already choose certain funds. So you have a very limited amount of funds or different mutual funds that you can invest in, while the Roth has broader choices.
Where can you open up a Roth account? Is it free? Can anybody do it?
Sure, so as I said, anyone can do it. You can even go and open it today. A lot of different brokerage accounts include, or popular ones are like Fidelity, Vanguard, Charles Schwab, and you can go ahead and go open your account today, completely free and online. You don't have to leave your house. And I would recommend that you open it today and go ahead and start investing $50, $100 into some sort of investment fund. And the next time also, instead of putting more additional money into your savings account, you can put it into your Roth. And with time, you'll see that your money will either go up or down, but in the long term, it'll grow. And I would also recommend, if you want to further invest and keep starting that investment, to automate it. So what exactly does this mean? It means that every week or every month, you can put in money weekly from your bank account or your paycheck. And this will help you invest without even thinking about it.
So you're recommending people to open up a Roth account, putting $10, $20, $30, a small amount, and then work your way up from there. How does that build you wealth? Tell me a little bit more about the process. It's not just magic where you put money in and it's growing. Can you give us an example of how that money grows over time and what you're supposed to do about that?
Sure. So if we looked at historical records for the S&P 500, the average annual return rate since its inception in 1926 through 2018 is approximately 10 to 11%. This means that, for example, if you put in $1,000, each year it will grow $100 according to that 10% return rate. And for a good scenario I'll show you is if we were to be conservative and adjust for inflation, which is around 3%, we can make our return rate 7%. So let's take a look at this graphic real quick. Again, we're starting at $0 and we'll have 45 years. This is at the age of 20. So in order to hit our retirement age at 65, that's 45 years. And we invested just $50 a month, we will end up with an end balance of $170K, although we invested only $27,000 overall in the end. But our interest and our investments actually end up growing to $150,000.
Yeah, thanks for showing us that graph. So that's just $50, which I think most people can do, and it's manageable even if you're working a part-time job. What happens if you put the maximum amount in? I think you said that you max out your Roth every year, or at least you try to, and that's $6,000 a year that you can put in Roth, right? What happens if you max out your Roth every single year?
Yep, sure. I usually recommend a lot of beginners to start off with $50 a month. That way, once you put in your money, you'll see that it continues to grow, and it will really inspire to continue putting more money. Or in addition, whenever you're ready, just start increasing that amount each month up to the maximum contribution limit. So you were correct. The contribution limit for 2021 and 2022 is $6,000 per year. And if we divided 6,000 by 12 months, that is $500 per month in order to reach the maximum contribution limit. So let's look at another scenario in which we start investing at 20 years old again. And instead, we're going to maximize the account and put $500 in per month into our Roth IRA. And again, our retirement age will be 65. So this is 45 years of investments. We can see the end balance we make is $1,700,000. That is a lot of money that, wow, it just seemed like it blew out of nowhere, because for our contributions, we actually only put in $270,000, but with investments and growth, our interest grew $1,500,000.
Thanks for going through the graph, and that was very informative. Is there anything else that we should know in this episode before we conclude?
Sure, I know I keep saying at 20 years old and things like that, but even starting investments at 25, 30, or 45 is still really beneficial. It is never too late to start. And I would recommend, if you don't have a Roth IRA right now, you can always open it up. It is never too late. And I will show later on the comparisons on which age you open it, but remember that the Roth IRA allows you to invest tax-free. So the earlier you start, the more compounding you get. So start today and open your Roth account. Just put in $50.
That's great. Thank you so much for that information and giving us a lot of details and an introduction into the 401k, Roth, and specific investment vehicles. If you guys have any questions, comment down below. If there's anything you guys want to talk about, then please let us know. But 401k, Roth, sounds like it's very strong investments that you can do, and it can make your money grow a lot. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask us down below. Have a nice day.